Hello, welcome. Hope you've had a fantastic half term and enjoying being back at school. Do you have a good half term, Barry?
I had a really good half time. I actually had the week off, which was quite nice, and went out to a few places. Managed to go out with Adele. We went to the cinema one morning, just me and Adele. 10:40 was the cinema time, and we were the only ones in the cinema. It
Is
was
that
amazing.
because you chose a film that only old people want to watch?
No, we saw Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings. It was awesome. There's a lot
That
of
could have been
karate
just
in
talking a foreign language. I have no idea what it is you're talking about. We too had a great half term. We enjoyed the week off as well, which was nice, and got to go to somewhere really beautiful in Devon, where there were some incredible walks and things to do as a family. So that was really great. Had a really lovely time.
Nice.
I wonder what you enjoyed most about half term. Why don't you talk and turn to one another for 30 seconds and just have a little chat about what was your favourite thing perhaps that you got to do at half term? That would be brilliant. Helicopter. Really enjoyed the walks, some quite steep mountains that were pretty tiring.
Many mountains in Devon.
Large rocky
Large
hills.
hills.
They're like cliff edges. So then narrow paths, young children. Someone said, oh, it's very windy, you should put a line around them.
We went to
It's have a
Arundel
skyline.
Castle.
Okay.
Well, we walked past Arundel Castle. We were going to go in, but it was about £54 for the four of us. So we just looked at the outside.
It's a lovely castle, isn't it?
It's incredible castle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's to live not far. Well, hopefully now the helicopter's passed overhead, if you heard that, and you've had a chance to talk. Fantastic. I'm sure there were lots of great things you were able to share then with one another. Now, Barry, we're thinking about a new theme this half term, aren't we? What's that?
We are. We're thinking about service. I wonder if have you ever heard of the word service? We have a church service. Is that the kind of service we're thinking of?
No. We're talking about that idea of serving one another. So service in the sense of serving one another. So that might be when someone does something for you, either because they have to or because they want to.
Ah, okay. So, if I think of times in my life where maybe someone has done something for me, I've got a good one.
Okay.
So my son Freddie, he's 15, and quite often he will if he's home during the week on holiday or at the weekend, quite often he'll come down from his bedroom at lunchtime and he'll pop his head round into the lounge and say, "Dad, would you like something to eat?" And Freddie quite often makes me lunch
Wow.
at the weekend. I know, and he makes an amazing burrito. Better than I can make it. He makes an amazing burrito. So he'll make me lunch, and then we'll sit down together, eat lunch, and talk about anything, or maybe we might watch something on telly or something like that together. But that's really nice, and I don't ask him to do it. He just comes downstairs and offers to make me lunch, which is lovely. It's
Wow.
really, really nice.
I mean, that's amazing. If any of my kids are watching this, listen up. That's what Freddie does.
Freddie
I'd
will
love
show
my
you-
lunch made for me.
Freddie will show you how to fold a burrito. So there's a little knack to it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's really good. So that is a great example of service where he's just done something out of love for you and wanting to care for you. He goes and chooses to make that.
Yeah.
So I think of like when my kids have learned how during lockdown learned how to make tea. For Ruth, I don't drink tea, but they were able to make tea for Ruth, which was great.
Yeah.
And really good. And they would often do that just without asking. So again, it's just that lovely sense, isn't it? But for me, one of the things, I really don't like is people's feet. Ugh! I really don't like touching them, seeing them. But around the time of Easter, on Good Friday, or Maundy Thursday actually I think it is, which is the day before Good Friday, there's a tradition in the church, Catholic Church and the Anglican Church, a tradition of washing feet. And we're going to hear a bit about why that is in a moment. But the Pope So he's the head of the Catholic Church, lives in just outside Rome in Vatican City, which is actually a country in itself. He lives there, and what he does each Maundy Thursday is he will go to the local prison, and the prisons there are really not particularly nice, and he'll go there and he will wash the feet of the prisoners. And he doesn't just wash the feet, he also prays over that person, prays over their feet, and he kisses their feet. He kisses them. Can you even imagine? Disgusting. But he does that because he loves God, and he wants to show God's love in that practical, completely extravagant way to those people who perhaps by some people are thought of as being like the least, the lost, the rubbishest people because they've ended up in prison. And I just think that's incredible.
That's amazing. Yeah, I'm not sure I think I could do that. I don't know.
In one of my churches I was at previously, we used to wash people's feet on Maundy Thursday. And there was a number of us who were vicars at the time, and it was always me that was volunteered to do the foot washing because they knew how much I hated feet, and so they made me do it, which was really unkind. But I also found it a real privilege, because actually when you're washing someone's foot and you're kind of there washing the dirt between their toes and all that sort of stuff, and drying them carefully, there is something really incredible about doing that. Something really that is a blessing to receive and a blessing to give, but it's just not one I particularly enjoy.
Well, I've got a no, I wouldn't either, but I've got a story just about that, which I'm going to read. It's from the Jesus Storybook Bible, and it's called The Servant King. Jesus and his friends were having the Passover meal together in an upstairs room. But Jesus' friends were arguing. What about? Well, they were arguing about stinky feet. Stinky feet? Yeah, that's right. Stinky feet. Now, the thing about feet back then was that people didn't wear shoes. They only wore sandals, which might not sound unusual, except that the streets in those days were dirty. And I don't mean just dirty, I mean really stinky dirty. With all those cows and the horses everywhere, you can imagine the stuff on the street that ended up on their feet and between their toes.
Yeah.
So anyway, someone had to wash away the dirt. But it was a dreadful job. Who on earth would ever dream of volunteering to do it? Only probably the lowliest servant.
Turned over to
I'm not the servant, Peter said. Nor am I, said Matthew. Quietly, Jesus got up from the table, took off of his robe, picked up a basin of water, knelt down and started to wash his friend's feet. You can't, Peter said. He didn't understand about Jesus being the servant king. If you don't let me wash away the dirt, Peter, Jesus said, you can't be close to me. Jesus knew that what people needed most was to be clean on the inside. All the dirt on their feet was nothing compared to the sin inside their hearts. Then wash me, Lord, Peter said, tears filling his eyes, all of me. One by one, Jesus washed everyone's feet. I'm doing this because I love you, Jesus explained. Do this for each other.
Wow. So Jesus got up from the table and he washed the stinky, dirty, horrible feet of his friends to show that he loved them. And then he says that line, do this as I have done. Oh goodness. But Jesus doesn't mean go out and wash people's feet really necessarily, unless that is what's needed. What Jesus is saying is, what can you do to show love to someone freely? What could you do to show love to, I don't know, someone you live with, or maybe to people at school? Why don't we just pause for a few moments put your thinking caps on. Barry's already got his on. And just take a few moments to think about what could you do to show love, to serve one another, because that's what Jesus says we should do as he has done. So I wonder, Barry shared one example that in the house, his son Freddie made him lunch. He did something really practical to show that he loved him and cared for him. And I've said, about making a cup of tea, if it's safe to do so, and you're allowed to do that. Making a cup of tea for your mum and dad or whoever is in the house there looking after you. What could you do like that?
Maybe you could offer to help do the washing up.
Wow.
Maybe you could tidy your bedroom without being asked, or make your bed in the morning so your mum or your dad doesn't have to do it. Maybe if you're at school and you're in the playground and you see that child maybe that's at the side sort of sitting on their own, maybe looking a bit down, maybe you can go and sit beside them and say hello and see how they are. Maybe get them to join in with a game, or just sit and chat and see what's going on.
Do you know, one of the things I've always noticed about coming into Bitton School, when we were allowed to do that more, is that if you're walking along a corridor and there's a door there, people open the door for you and let you through, which is just so lovely. Or people have offered to help carry things if you've got a lot of stuff with you at the time, or to show you around in case you might get lost. All that kind of stuff. Those acts of service are so amazing, aren't they?
Yeah, sometimes you might get asked to do something, to go and help and do something like that. And if that's what happens, and maybe we don't always feel like doing it, but maybe actually let's just go and do it with a smile. Or maybe we're not asked to do something and we just go and help anyway. I mean, maybe someone's clearing some leaves outside or whatever, and you just go and offer to do it, and they might be okay, and they might say no, it's fine, but thank you very much for asking. Just having that in your heart, that idea of helping people, of serving people, is a great thing, and it makes God very happy when he sees that happening.
It really does. So I wonder, Barry, if we can ask our teachers to do us a really big favour. We would love to hear over the next half term, so maybe just dropping us a message or letting Miss Allen know, and she can drop us a message. What are some of the different ways that people are serving in the school community? What are some of the ways in which people are being surprised, you as teachers are being surprised by the way in which your children in your care are serving and helping one another, or even helping you? We'd love to hear that, and then maybe we can share some of those over the coming weeks as we continue to explore this theme of service. That'd be really great to hear, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And remember, if someone does something for you, make sure to say thank you, because that's a real special thing that someone's done that for you as well. So it's not just you doing stuff for other people, it's you recognising when someone does something for you as well.
Fantastic. I'm going to say a prayer for us, and then we're going to have a fantastic next term through to Christmas, and we're going to continue exploring what it means to serve and to love one another in that way. Let's pray. Jesus, we thank you for your example, for the way in which you show us what it means to serve even when it costs. Washing your friends' feet when they were dirty and disgusting is incredible, and it just shows just a little bit of your love for us. But even bigger than that, you chose to die upon the cross for us, to show us that we are loved and valued and cared for. Jesus, would you show us this week once again how loved we are, and may you help us to show to one another and to serve one another, and to show one another that we're loved and cared for. May you give us ideas, may you give us opportunities to serve and to care for each other this week. We ask in your wonderful name. Amen.
Amen.
Take care, have a fantastic week, and we'll see you soon.
Bye. Tony, can you wash my feet?
Ah!